How did a promotion video end with me standing in the office lobby while a process server said my full name? Why did everyone in my department already know my business before I even opened the envelope? My name is Oryx Bennett, and I used to think my life was small because my job title was small. I worked in client support at a software company in downtown Portland. I solved problems for customers all day, and then I went home and solved problems for my husband too. I told myself I was the engine in our house. If I stopped, everything stopped. Ethan Caldwell was my husband. He was quiet and careful. Like every thought had to pass a rule before he said it. He worked in payroll and compliance at a hospital. He loved plans and lists. He loved safe. I used to say I loved that about him, but I also used it against him when I wanted. When I felt stuck, I said his caution was a cage. I still think I was right. That Monday, I walked into the office and saw Lena Park laughing with our manager near the coffee machine. Lena was younger than me, and she always acted like she did not care. But she cared. Everyone cared. At our company, promotions were like prizes. If you did not get one, people looked at you like you were slow. I sat at my desk and opened my inbox. My screen filled with small problems. Password resets, complaints, angry messages with too many exclamation marks. I fixed them fast. I liked being fast. Speed looked like power, even when you were not in charge. Tara Hensley rolled her chair next to mine and asked why I looked so serious. I said I was tired of doing the hard work while other people got the credit. She said I needed to make myself visible. She said the leaders only noticed people who made noise. I told her I was not a noise person. Then I laughed like it was a joke. Inside, I did not laugh. Around 10, my boss, Graham Pender, messaged me and asked me to come to the glass conference room for my quarterly review. His message was short and polite. It always was. He had a way of being smooth without sounding fake. He was the director of client operations, and he spoke like every word had a label. I walked into the conference room and sat across from him. The walls were glass, so anyone walking by could see us. I liked that, because it made it feel official. I wanted people to see me sitting there. I wanted them to think I mattered. Graham looked at his laptop and said my metrics were strong. He said the team liked me. He said customers asked for me by name. I waited for the part that mattered. He said there might be room for a senior role soon. He said might, like it was a gift. He asked what I wanted next. I said I wanted a promotion. I said I was ready. He asked if I could be more available. He said leadership needed someone who could stay late, join dinners, and be flexible. He asked if my home life allowed that. I said it did. I said I had support. I made my voice warm, like I was easy to work with. He leaned back and said he liked my attitude. He asked if I could meet him tomorrow after work for a private talk about growth. He said it would be easier without distractions. I nodded and said yes. I told myself it was normal. I told myself it was mentoring. I did not like the word private, but I liked the feeling of being chosen. When I left the conference room, I saw Lena watching from her desk. Her face was neutral, but her eyes were not. At lunch, Lena came to the break room while I was heating soup. She asked how my review went. I said it was fine. She asked if they told me how promotions were decided. I said it was based on results. Lena said results should be measured the same way for everyone. She said the company had rules. She said favoritism ruined teams. I smiled and acted calm. I told her she worried too much. I made it sound like advice. Inside, I thought she sounded bitter. I thought she wanted to slow me down. Back at my desk, Graham sent another message. He wrote that tomorrow's talk could be off-site if I preferred. He wrote a smile emoji. My chest tightened, but I did not stop reading. I stared at the message and then deleted the preview from my lock screen settings. It felt like cleaning. It felt like control. That evening, I drove home and parked in the driveway. The house looked normal from the outside. We had a small yard and a porch light that always flickered. Normal should have made me feel safe. Instead, it made me feel trapped. In the kitchen, Ethan was cutting vegetables for dinner. Mila and Noah were at the table with crayons. Ethan asked how my day was. I said it was busy. He asked if I was eating enough. I said yes. He asked if I wanted to look at our budget this weekend. I said I did not have time for spreadsheets. He said he only wanted to plan because prices were going up. He asked if I was still set on trying for a bigger apartment next year. I said yes, and I said that was why I needed a promotion. He said he understood, but he asked me to be careful at work. He said office politics could be messy. I heard be careful as do not try. I heard it as stay small. I did not say that out loud. I only smiled and said he worried too much. He asked why I sounded annoyed. I said I was tired. I said he should not start a fight over nothing. After dinner, Ethan helped the kids wash up. I cleaned the counter and saw a folder on the shelf with his neat handwriting on it. It said bank. Next to it was another folder that said utilities. He loved labels. I used to call it responsible. That night, it looked like a wall. Ethan's phone buzzed on the counter while he was in the hallway with Noah. The screen lit up with a calendar reminder. I did not mean to look, but I did. It said, meeting personal. The time was set for Wednesday morning. No location, just that title. When Ethan came back, he saw my eyes on the phone. He asked if I needed something. I said no. I said it was just bright. He picked it up and put it in his pocket. Later, when the kids were asleep, I went to the bedroom and checked my own phone. Graham's message sat there like a door that was already open. I told myself I was doing this for my family. I told myself respect follows results, and I needed results. Then I heard Ethan in the hallway, moving quietly, like he was trying not to be seen. The next day I woke up early, not because I was disciplined, but because my mind would not stop. I watched Ethan make coffee. He asked if I wanted a cup. I said yes. He asked if I had a big meeting. I said it was normal. I kept my voice flat, like flat meant honest. At work, I tried to act calm. I answered tickets fast. I smiled at the right people. I laughed when Tara joked about our manager's vibes. Tara asked if I was excited about my private talk. I told her it was not private, just focused. She said I was going places, and she said I should enjoy it. I let her words fill me up like air. In the afternoon, Graham sent a message and asked if I could meet after work at a lounge near the office. He said it was quiet and good for career planning. I told myself it sounded professional. I told myself adults met after work all the time. I did not tell Ethan. When 5 o'clock hit, Ethan texted and asked what time I would be home. I said I had to stay late for an urgent client issue. It was a lie, but it was a clean lie. I told myself it was a temporary lie for a permanent win. The lounge was dim and smelled like citrus cleaner and sweet perfume. Graham was already there. He stood up when I walked in, like I was important. He asked if I wanted a drink. I said yes. He asked how I felt about leadership. I said I was ready to lead. He said he liked confidence. He said the company needed people who were loyal and aligned. He said he could help me, but he needed to trust me. I asked what trust meant. He said trust meant time, and it meant being close to the decision maker. He said there were people who wanted my spot and would call me selfish. He said he could protect me from that. He talked like he was offering safety, not pressure. When my phone buzzed, I flipped it face down. Graham noticed and smiled. He said I did not need to be distracted. He asked if I wanted to go somewhere quieter to talk about the exact title and pay. I said yes, because exact sounded like victory. I told myself it was still work. We left the lounge and walked into the cool night air. He called a rideshare and told me it was easier than parking. I could have said no. I did not. I sat in the back seat and watched the city lights move like they were pulling me forward. He asked if I trusted him. I said he was my boss and I respected him. He said respect was not the same as trust. I laughed too loud, like laughter could hide nerves. The car stopped at a quiet building with a bright lobby and a security desk. I felt my stomach tighten. Graham said it was a business suite some executives used. He said it was private and safe. I told myself safe meant allowed. I told myself a lot of things. Inside, he spoke softer. He asked what I wanted in 1 year. I said I wanted a better life. He asked if my husband supported that. I said my husband was careful, and careful people slowed you down. Graham said I should not let a man's fear limit my future. That sentence slid into my mind like a key. I crossed a line that night. I will not describe it. I will only say I made a choice, and I called it ambition. I told myself I was not hurting anyone because no one would know. That was the part I really believed, and it made me brave. When I got home, it was late. I walked up the stairs quietly. Ethan was in the living room with the lamp on. He looked up and asked why I was so late. I said the client issue took longer than expected. He asked why I did not call. I said my phone died. He looked at my phone in my hand and did not speak for a second. He asked if everything was okay at work. I said yes. He asked why I smelled like cologne that was not his. I said the office was crowded and people hugged because someone had a birthday. He said that sounded strange. I said he was imagining things because he was stressed. I hated that he noticed details. I hated that he made me work to keep the story straight. I turned it on him fast. I asked why he was interrogating me. I said he always assumed the worst. I said he was acting controlling. Ethan's face changed like I slapped him, but I did not. He asked if I wanted to talk tomorrow when we were calm. I said there was nothing to talk about. The next morning, he offered to do school drop-off so I could get ahead. I said thank you like I was innocent. At my desk, Tara asked if my meeting went well. I said it was productive. She asked if I got good news. I said I could not share yet, but I smiled. Tara squealed and told me I was going to be a senior soon. By Thursday, the lie started to feel normal. That was the scary part. I began to think Ethan's doubts were the real problem, not my choices. When he asked why my location sharing was off, I said the app glitched. When he asked why I was guarding my phone, I said he was being paranoid. I said if he trusted me, he would not need proof. That weekend, Tara invited me to a rooftop bar with a few coworkers. I told Ethan it was a team bonding thing. He asked if spouses were coming. I said no, because it was work. He nodded, but his eyes stayed on me like he was trying to read a message I would not show. At the rooftop bar, music thumped and the city looked expensive. Tara took photos and posted them right away. She asked me to pose with a drink and my best smile. I did. I wanted my promotion before I even had it. Later, someone asked about Ethan, and I made it a joke. I said he worried too much and liked rules more than people. I said he would probably track my phone if he could. People laughed. I let them laugh. I told myself I was just venting. I told myself he deserved it for doubting me. Then I saw Ethan near the stairwell door. I did not know he was there. His face was tight and quiet. He did not shout. He did not accuse me in public. He only looked at me like he did not recognize me. Tara waved at him and asked why he came. Ethan said he was in the area and wanted to say hi. I jumped in fast and said he was just being sweet. I said I told him not to worry. I made it sound like he was needy and I was patient. On the drive home, Ethan asked why I talked about him like that. I said he was too sensitive. He asked if I was embarrassed by him. I said no, but I said he needed to stop showing up uninvited. He went silent, and that silence felt like danger because I could not control it. That night, when he thought I was asleep, I heard him in the kitchen. I heard a soft tap, like a drawer opening and closing. I heard his phone vibrate once and then stop. I stared at the dark ceiling and told myself I was winning. I told myself I had to keep going, because stopping now would mean I did all of this for nothing. My name started showing up in places it never showed up before. That is how I knew Graham was moving the pieces. On Monday morning, an all-hands invite appeared on everyone's calendar. The subject line said there would be team recognition and role updates. Tara rolled her chair close and asked if this was about me. I said it could be about anyone, like I did not care. My hands shook under the desk. By lunch, people were already whispering. I heard my name in the hallway, mixed with words like finally and about time. I pretended I did not hear. I answered customer tickets like a robot. I did not want my face to betray me. At 3, Graham walked through the open plan area and stopped at my desk. He asked if I was ready for later. I said yes. He asked if my husband would come. I said maybe. He smiled like he already knew more than he said. When I texted Ethan, I made it sound sweet. I told him there was a small office event and I wanted him there. I wrote that it would make me happy. He replied that he could take an hour off and come. His message had a smiley face. That almost made me angry, because he still believed I was simple and good. The event space was set up with folding chairs and a small stage. There were balloons in company colors. A slide deck looped on a big screen. Tara was everywhere with her phone, filming short clips and telling people to smile. She said it was content for our internal feed. She told me to stand near the front because she had a feeling. Graham started speaking like he was a host on TV. He thanked everyone. He called out wins and customer praise. Then he said the company was investing in strong people who could lead. He said leadership was about trust, results, and culture. When he said trust, he looked at me for half a second too long. He announced my promotion in a clean voice, like it was obvious. He said I was being moved into a senior role with expanded responsibilities. People clapped. Tara squealed and raised her phone higher. Someone behind me said congratulations. I stood up and tried to look modest. Inside, I felt like I had finally beaten the world. Graham asked me to come on stage. I walked up, and the lights felt warm on my face. I could see Ethan near the aisle. He was smiling, but it looked careful. I told myself his smile meant he understood he was wrong to doubt me. Graham said a few flattering lines about my work ethic. He said I was reliable. He said clients trusted me. He said he trusted me. Then he stepped closer than he needed to, and he put a hand at my back. He pulled me into a side hug that lasted too long. He kissed my cheek near the corner of my mouth, like he was being playful. People laughed and clapped again, like it was a cute moment. I laughed too, because I needed it to be cute. I needed it to look harmless. In the corner of my eye, I saw Ethan's face shift. It was small, but I saw it. His smile did not drop, but his eyes did. He looked like someone had turned the sound down inside him. After the applause, Tara ran up and said she got it on video. She said it looked so boss. She asked if she could post it in our team chat. I said yes because saying no would look weird. I told myself it was normal. I told myself this was just what success looked like. The rest of the afternoon was a blur of high fives and quick compliments. Lena came up and said congratulations, but her voice was flat. She asked what my new role would cover. I said it was still being finalized. Lena nodded like she was storing that sentence in a box. Ethan stayed only a few minutes. He said he needed to get back to work. I thanked him and kissed him quickly. He asked if we could talk later. I said sure, like it was nothing. On my way back to my desk, my phone buzzed again and again. Tara had posted the clip in the team chat with heart emojis and a crown sticker. People replied with Queen and earned and about time. I reshared it to my story without thinking. I wanted the world to confirm me. At home, I felt the air change the moment I stepped inside. Ethan was in the kitchen, and the kids were drawing at the table. He asked how I felt. I said proud. He nodded and asked about the clip. I said what clip? He said the one Tara posted. I acted confused. I asked what he meant. He said Graham was too close, and he said it looked personal. I laughed and told him it was just office culture. I said people were joking. I said he was reading into it. He asked why it bothered him so much to see another man touch me. I said it was not touching. It was a congratulation. He said it felt like disrespect. I said he was making my big day about his feelings. He asked if Graham had been texting me a lot. I said only about work. He asked if the late nights were really late nights. I said yes. I said he was acting like a jealous teenager. I said I could not believe he was doing this on the day I succeeded. Mila looked up from her crayons and asked why we were talking loud. Ethan lowered his voice right away. He said we were fine. I did not lower my voice fast enough. I said Dad was just stressed. Ethan looked at me like I had slapped him again, but he still stayed calm. After the kids went to bed, Ethan asked if he could access our shared cloud account because he wanted to print family photos for his mom. He said she had been asking. My stomach turned cold. I asked why he could not use the photos on his phone. He said he wanted the older ones. I told him I would handle it later. He asked why I sounded defensive. I said I was tired. He asked if there was anything he should know. I said no, and I said if he trusted me, he would stop digging. He walked to the sink and rinsed his mug. Then he put it on the opposite side of the counter from mine, leaving space between them like a line. On the shelf, I saw that bank folder again, square and neat. Ethan did not look at me while he dried his hands. He only said goodnight in a voice that was too controlled. I went to bed and stared at the ceiling. I told myself I had earned everything. I told myself Ethan should be proud, not suspicious. Still, when my phone lit up with a new message from Graham that simply said, "Great job today," I turned the screen face down, like it could burn me. The next morning I drove the kids to daycare because Ethan said he had an early meeting. He said it was a personal meeting and he would be back before dinner. I did not ask what it was. I acted like I did not care. In my head, I told myself he was trying to scare me with mystery. In the pickup line, Mila held my hand and asked why Dad was quiet lately. I said he was tired from work. She asked why he slept in the guest room. I said adults needed space sometimes. I said Dad was being sensitive. Mila frowned like she did not believe me, but she nodded anyway. Kids nod when they want the world to be calm. At the office, the air felt different. People did not smile the same way. They smiled like they were watching something. When I walked to my desk, I noticed 2 co-workers stopped talking. Tara texted me fast and asked if I had seen the comments under the team chat video. I said no. She said people were being weird about Graham. She said someone called it favoritism. Around 11, Monica Reyes from HR emailed me. She asked if I could come to her room for a quick chat about workplace boundaries. The words looked simple, but they hit hard. I walked to HR with my shoulders straight. I told myself confident people did not fear policy. I told myself this was only jealousy from others. In the HR room, Monica asked how I felt about my new role. I said proud. She asked if I had any concerns about how it was announced. I said no. She asked if I had a personal relationship with my manager. I smiled like it was a silly question and said absolutely not. I said Graham was supportive, and I said supportive bosses were rare. Monica said the company had strict rules about power and favoritism. She said she needed to ask because someone raised a concern. I asked who. She said she could not share names. I said it sounded like a witch hunt. I said people hated successful women. Monica kept her face neutral. She said she only wanted clarity. I said she had it. When I left HR, my hands were cold. I sat at my desk and typed fast, not because I had to, but because speed made me feel in control. Tara rolled over and whispered that Lena had been quiet all day. Tara said Lena was probably the one who complained. I nodded like I already knew. It felt good to have an enemy. At lunch, I called my sister Kelsey and asked if I could come by after work. She said yes and asked if something was wrong. I said work people were being dramatic. I said Ethan was also being dramatic. I stacked problems like blocks and made myself the victim in the middle. At Kelsey's apartment, she poured me tea and listened with wide eyes. I told her HR was sniffing around and people were jealous. I said Ethan was making it worse because he kept asking questions. Kelsey asked what kind of questions. I said he asked about my phone, about my time, about Graham. Kelsey said Ethan sounded insecure. I said that was exactly it. Kelsey asked if I had done anything wrong. I said no, and I said even if I had, it was my life. I said I did not cheat on Ethan, I cheated the system. I said the system was unfair, so my choice was fair. Kelsey nodded like I was brave. That nod fed me. I practiced my story out loud, like a speech. I said Ethan was trying to control me because he could not handle my success. I said he punished me with silence. I said he watched me like a guard. Kelsey said I should set boundaries. She said men respected women who did not bend. I smiled because I liked the sound of that. On the way home, I stopped at a family restaurant because my mum had invited us for dinner. Ethan was already there with the kids. He sat in the booth with Milo's colouring pages spread out and Noah playing with a spoon. He looked tired. He asked how my day went. I said fine. I did not mention HR. My mother, Diane, arrived with my father, Mark. Diane hugged me tight and said she was proud of me. She said I deserved more. She said Ethan should stop acting strange. She said it loud enough that the kids looked up. Ethan asked Diane to keep her voice down. He said the kids were listening. Diane said the kids should see a strong mother. She said Ethan was acting jealous and small. I did not stop her. I let her words land on him like little stones. I told myself he deserved discomfort because he made me uncomfortable with questions. Ruth, Ethan's mother, came late because she was watching our dog. She sat down and looked at Ethan first. She asked if he was okay. He said he was fine. Diane said he was not fine. He was insecure. Ruth said insecurity was not the same as betrayal. Diane asked what she meant. Ruth said respect mattered, and she said gossip did not appear from nowhere. I felt heat rise in my face. I told Ruth she did not understand modern work. I said people were close at work, and it did not mean anything. Ruth asked why I was angry if it meant nothing. I said she was judging me. Ruth said she was protecting her son and her grandkids. I said Ethan was the one hurting the kids with his mood. Mila asked why everyone sounded mad. Ethan said they were not mad, just talking. I said we were fine, but my voice was sharp. Ethan looked at me and asked me to stop. I asked why he was ordering me around. He blinked like he was choosing words carefully. He said he was not ordering, he was asking. After dinner, in the car, Ethan asked why I let Diane talk to him like that. I said Diane was honest. He asked if I believed those things. I said he should think about why people saw him that way. He went quiet again. His quiet felt like a door closing. At home, I noticed the guest bed looked used. I saw 2 separate mugs on the counter, not touching. I heard a soft beep from Ethan's phone, like a reminder. When I walked past the guest room, I smelled toner again, faint but real. On the kitchen counter, there was a sticky note that said, "Bring forms." I stared at it, then looked away. Ethan came out of the hallway and asked if I needed anything. I said no. I asked what his early meeting was. He said it was personal. I asked with who. He said it did not matter. I told him he was being secretive. He said he needed space to think. I said he was punishing me. He did not raise his voice. He did not call me names. He only said he wanted things to be clear soon. Then he walked back into the guest room and closed the door gently, like he was careful not to wake the kids, or like he was careful not to wake something in me. By Monday morning, the clip was not just in our team chat. It had a life of its own. I could feel it before I saw it. People did not look away fast enough. They looked like they were watching a show and waiting for the next part. When I walked into the office, Tara texted me 3 times in a row. She said someone from sales had it. She said someone in another building had it. She said she did not understand how it spread so fast. I told her to calm down. I told her she was being dramatic. I needed her to be calm, because if she panicked, it meant I should panic too. At my desk, I opened my email and saw a new message from Monica in HR. The subject line said, "Investigation meeting, required attendance." My chest went tight, but I kept my face still. I clicked it like I was bored. The message said I needed to attend a meeting and be ready to answer questions about workplace boundaries and potential conflicts of interest. The time was set for the next afternoon. It was written in neutral words, but it felt like a trap. I rolled my chair back and laughed once, quietly, like laughing could turn it into nothing. I told myself it was routine. I told myself HR was only covering the company. I told myself they would never punish someone they just promoted. That thought was not logic. It was pride. Tara came to my desk with her phone in her hand. Her eyes were red, like she had not slept. She said she tried to delete the post in the team chat, but people already saved it. She said someone forwarded it to a big group thread. She said she thought it was just hype. I asked why she posted it at all, if she knew it looked personal. Tara said she did not think about it. I wanted to scream at her. Instead, I used a softer voice and told her she was not to blame. That was not kindness. That was strategy. I needed Tara close, not defensive. I told her jealous people were twisting a harmless moment. I told her, if she stayed loyal to me, we would both be fine. Tara nodded fast, like she was grabbing a life raft. Later that morning, Lena walked past my desk and did not smile. She stopped and asked, in a calm voice, if my new role had a formal job description yet. I said it was being finalized. Lena asked if the salary band had been posted. I said I did not know. Lena nodded, then said she hoped the process was transparent for everyone. She said it like she was reading from a rule book. I smiled and said I agreed, even though my stomach turned. At lunch, I went to the bathroom and checked my phone in a stall like a teenager. The clip had been reposted in places I did not follow. People added captions that made it sound worse than it was. Some comments called it favoritism. Some called it gross. My face burned. I did not read everything, but I read enough to know my control was slipping. I called Ethan from the parking garage because I needed a target. He answered in his usual calm voice. He asked if I was okay. That question made me furious because it sounded like he already knew I was not. I told him the whole office had the video. I said someone sent it everywhere, and it was ruining me. Ethan asked what video. I asked him to stop pretending. I said he was angry about the event and this was his revenge. Ethan said he did not send anything. I told him he was lying. I said he had been quiet and secretive, and now suddenly everyone had it. I said it had to be him. He did not raise his voice. He asked where the video came from originally. I said Tara filmed it. Ethan asked if Tara posted it. I said yes, but I said it was in a small team chat and it should have stayed there. Ethan said once it was posted, it could spread. He said he was sorry it was happening, but he repeated that it was not him. His calmness felt like an insult. I told him he was acting innocent to make me feel crazy. I said he was punishing me because he could not handle my success. Ethan paused and then asked very quietly if there was anything else he needed to know about Graham. I said no. I said Graham was my boss and I did my job. I said Ethan needed to stop making things weird. That evening, I came home and found Ethan in the living room with a notebook open and his laptop on the coffee table. It looked like a budgeting night, but it felt colder than that. He asked how my day went. I said awful. I said everyone was attacking me. He asked what HR wanted. I said it was nothing, but my voice shook. He noticed. He asked if I wanted to sit and talk. I said he was only pretending to care so he could blame me. Ethan asked why I thought he was my enemy. I said because he was acting like one. I said he started this by being jealous and embarrassed at the event. I said he humiliated me by not smiling enough. He looked down at his hands and then back up, like he was trying to keep his balance. He asked again about Graham. He asked about the late nights, the rideshare receipts, the private talks. My heart jumped when he said rideshare. because I did not remember telling him that detail. I asked how he knew about ride shares. He said it did not matter. He asked if I had a relationship with my boss. I laughed and told him he was being paranoid. I said he was building a story because he wanted to control me. I said he was insecure and small. I said he wanted me to be less so he could feel more. The words came out fast like darts. I watched them hit him, and part of me felt strong. Ethan did not shout. He said he was not trying to control me. He said he was trying to understand what was real. He said the kids needed stability and truth. I told him the kids needed a mother who was respected. I said my promotion helped them. I said if he loved them, he would stop sabotaging me. He asked if I heard myself. He asked if my job title mattered more than our marriage. I said my marriage should support my growth, not limit it. I said I had carried this family on my back. I said he should be grateful. He stood up and walked to the hallway, then came back with his phone in his hand. I saw an alarm label flash on the screen for 1 second. Paper drop. He clicked it off without looking at me. He put the phone back in his pocket. I felt a chill, like I had stepped into shade. I followed him into the kitchen and saw the folders again on the counter. Bank. Household. Utilities. Neat stacks like a plan. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I asked why now. He said because things were not stable. I told him he was overreacting. I told him he was trying to scare me with paperwork. He said he was not trying to scare me. He said he was trying to protect himself and protect the kids. I said the kids did not need protecting from me. He said he hoped they never would. I felt my throat tighten, and I tried a different angle. I started crying. I said he was destroying me. I said the office thought I was disgusting. I said I could lose my job. I said if he loved me, he would fix it. Ethan watched me like he was watching weather, not theatre. He asked what I wanted him to do. I said I wanted him to admit he sent it, so he could apologize and make it stop. Ethan shook his head once. He said he would not lie to cover my lies. He said he was done arguing in circles. He said he would not shout, and he would not beg. Then he looked at me with a calm face that scared me more than anger, and he said he would handle it properly. I walked into the office lobby and felt eyes on me before I saw why. A woman in a plain blazer stepped in front of me and asked my name. I said it, like I was offended. She said she needed to confirm my identity. Then she handed me an envelope and said I was being served. I tried to laugh. I said it was a mistake. She said it was not. People near the elevators stopped moving. Tara stared at her shoes. Lena did not blink. I went straight to HR because I needed someone to blame. Monica was already there with a folder and a calm face. She said this meeting was required. She said there was a report about boundaries and favoritism, and the clip was part of it. I said Ethan sent it to the whole office to ruin me. Monica said their system log showed the first post came from our team chat, from Tara's account, then it spread by forwards. I said Graham used me and I was the victim. Monica said power rules were strict for a reason. She said Graham was removed from duties during the investigation. She said I was placed on administrative leave. My hand shook as I opened the envelope. It was divorce papers with temporary orders. It set a parenting schedule starting today. It restricted big spending. It said all messages had to be only about the kids in writing. I looked up and saw Ethan across the lobby. He did not smile. He did not insult me. He only nodded once.